I used to spend like 6 months trying to learn a new framework. And you know what happened? I got a job. That was my first job. And I didn't have 6 months, 3 months, 2 months to learn new things. I just had a few days. And I'll be honest, in those few days, probably a week or so, I learned more than what I was previously learned when I was just doing things by myself. Like I was just trying tutorials, I was trying to build things, right? What happened? I mean, how come like I learned more in those 2 weeks than I learned in my previous 6 months? So one of the main thing was that when you try to learn new thing, there are endless possibilities what you can do. And in a job, you have a strict scope. You have a code base. Now your job is to learn that code base or try to get good at that code base. But when you're learning, it's like an ocean, like it's like endless things you can do, and you get overwhelmed. Anyone can get overwhelmed. And I think this is what I was doing. Like I was just trying to learn a lot of things in that moment of time. And when you know like you have endless things, you try to waste time more because you feel like, first of all, you don't have a deadline. Like you, because I didn't have a job, I could spend 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year just trying to learn that thing. I was trying to learn React or Angular, right? So I had endless time. But at a job, you don't have. Your boss is sitting and asking you to do things, right? And you don't have whole week just to say, oh, I'm trying to ship this feature, I need a week. You probably have few hours to days, right? So limit your scope, like give yourself artificial deadline. So if you don't give that, you will just dive into this deep ocean and you will not come to the other end. If you want to reach to the other end, you give yourself deadline. Don't just do one thing after another. Limit your scope. And second advice I would give you is to recognize pattern. Like start early in your career. Try to see things with the eye of patterns. This is what development is all about. It is about finding those patterns. So what I was previously doing, I was trying to learn framework, right? And I was like, okay, how should we do certain things in this framework? Because that was my first framework. I didn't know like other frameworks have similar things as well. So instead of like remembering those things, try to find patterns, because when you try to learn those patterns, you can transfer those skills to other frameworks as well. So instead of just doing, I'm not saying like just do like 10 different frameworks, stick to one framework, but see how one framework implement things. Try to implement in another framework. Maybe you just pick a different one. The reason you should do that, because see, maybe you're doing React, right? Let's say, and you get your first job in Angular. Just like stop learning React and just dive into Angular, and you will waste a lot of time, and you may be not able to do that. So instead of learning frameworks, try to learn patterns. Once you do that, you can transfer those skills quickly. So if you're learning React, I'm not saying go try 10 different frameworks, right? This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying see the pattern and try to understand the pattern, how it is working, and then check maybe 1 or 2 different frameworks and see how they're doing. And you're like, they have slight different way of doing things, but they are doing exact same things. So that way, if you get a different job, it won't take you months to learn that thing. You'll be like, okay, I know how to do this thing. I know how to do data fetching. I know how to pass state. I know how to call a function. Just giving an example, right? You know those things. So you can use those things and put that in a new framework. So instead of learning a framework, you will be learning the patterns. And the last trick I can give you is, see, there are a lot of things in a framework. This is what we were talking about previously, right? That it is kind of an ocean. But in order to be effective, you don't need to learn everything. You just need to find those nuggets, like which are essential. For example, authentication. It's like every app requires authentication. So doesn't matter the framework. Try to learn how to make a basic authentication system in any language, Java, Python, JavaScript, any framework, pick one. If you learn that, you have that skill now. Like you can transfer these skills from one framework to another, one language to another. So instead of doing random things, pick 5 to 10 main topics in a framework or in any framework, right? Irrespective of framework, and try to learn those. And because at a job, when I got my first project, I didn't have that much time. I know, like, I need to learn the authentication system. I need to learn Redux. I'm just giving an example what I was trying to do back then. Or I need to understand this design system, right? So find those things and you can ask AI, right? This is what AI is good for. Just ask it. I'm trying to learn Angular. What 5 things I need to be able to do in order to go for an interview? So it will give you those 5 things and give yourself an artificial deadline. Maybe you'll do that in 6 weeks, 4 weeks. Try to bound yourself. Give yourself an artificial foundation so that you don't just go waste your time. And if you do these things, I can guarantee you can shortcut your learning from 6 months to a couple of weeks. That's it from today's video. Thanks a lot for watching.